state secrets are justifying this wiretapping. What are your thoughts on this, Stephen Goldberg?
Well, when the Obama administration came into being, we assumed that there was, and hoped, that there would be a change in the government's policy in terms of fighting or contesting this litigation, particularly on the secrecy grounds. Yet we found there was no change in the Obama administration's position. They were fighting as vigorously as the Bush administration to keep this case from seeing the light of day, and essentially made the same arguments to Judge Walker. If you decide that there was a warrant in this case, that will be a threat to national security. If you decide that there wasn't a warrant in this case, that would be a threat to national security. So, Judge, you cannot deal with the merits of this case. And Judge Walker ultimately rejected the government's arguments. But we were, of course, disappointed that there really was no change in position between the Bush and Obama administrations.
Also, on the issue of allowing the counsel to see important federal documents related to the case. In John Eisenberg's case, even though he had the top secret security clearance that was necessary, this was the Obama administration holding back these documents. Stephen Goldberg.
Yes. Yes, what happened was the judge, again, ordered that several of the lawyers in the case be allowed to apply for these clearances. Eisenberg and I were given these security clearances. We proposed, per Judge Walker's suggestion, a protective order which would protect the use of the document in the litigation so that there would be nothing disclosed that could be a threat to national security. And despite all of these efforts that the judge made to allow the document to be used, the government still took the position that no, you can't use the document, you cannot use classified evidence at all, and simply maintained that position as the Bush administration had throughout our case.
So what are you calling for now, and what does this mean for surveillance today?
Well, in terms of the case itself, this is really the only case outside of the Guantanamo context which has successfully challenged what we see as the excesses of the Bush administration. None of the other cases have been allowed to proceed primarily because people couldn't prove that in this case that they had been wiretapped. We were able to prove that, and as a result, it resulted in this decision, which we think is momentous because of that, because it is the only case so far which has challenged and declared these excesses to be illegal. The next phase of this case is that the court will order damages against the government, and then it's up to the government to decide whether they want to appeal the case. In terms of the secrecy issues, the case, again, deals with the question of FISA actions overcoming the state secrets privilege. But it doesn't deal with the underlying state secrets privilege. That privilege is still alive and well in the courts, and hopefully there will be other cases which will continue to challenge the government's efforts to stop these kinds of cases going forward based upon the state secrets privilege.
You say it strikes down what the Bush administration has done, but being that the Obama administration so vigorously defended what the Bush administration did, what will prevent the Obama administration from doing the very same thing?
Well, in terms of the secrecy issues preventing these cases from going forward, I don't know if there is anything that's going to prevent the Obama administration from continuing to take that position unless you have courageous judges like Judge Walker who are willing to stand up to them and basically say, if you're not going to engage, and if plaintiffs can at least make a prima facie case that they were subject to illegal actions, we're going to move forward. That's a courageous position, again, for a judge to take, and it's not clear whether other judges will be willing to take that position. In terms of the legality, at least of the NSA warrantless wiretap program, we now have a decision which at least says that surveillance under that program without warrants was illegal. And if that happens again, and if it can be discovered that that happens again, Certainly, whichever officials perform those actions would, again, be subject to damages, but could be subject to criminal penalties, I think, which FISA also provides. Now that we have at least one case which says that these actions are indeed illegal and a violation of FISA. That, I think, is the real importance of this case.
Portland-based attorney Stephen Goldberg speaking to us from Oregon, explaining what happened to the Charity Al-Haramain in 2004. That does it for the broadcast. Democracy Now! Produced by Mike Burke, Shofar Dukadu, Sarah Mate, Angela Cummett, Steve Martinez, Nicole Salazar, Honey Massoud, Robbie Karen, Mike DeFilippo, Peter Curries, Miguel Noguera, engineers. Special thanks to Becca Staley, Karen Renucci, Julie Crosby, Nick Gilla, Hugh Grant, Samantha Chambly, Jessel Noor, John Gerberg, Vesta Godars. I'll be in San Francisco on Saturday at noon at Greenfest and at 5 at the Commonwealth Club. Our website, democracynow.org, has all the details, and you can sign up for Twitter there. I'm Amy Goodman. Thanks for joining us.